feeding the class fish, you might notice Rubik's has a new habitat. We have found things to do with extra time being at home, and the fish, the class fish, is doing great. It has a nice new cylinder-shaped tank, you could say, right? Three-dimensional object, just like the container of food. Okay, hi, hello, welcome to April. We made it. It's April the 1st. So that's kind of a special day on the calendar. So I just have a question for you. And again, my assistant Liz is going to be your voice because you're not here right now. Because right now we're doing some asynchronous learning, and that's a good thing. And just don't forget, it's fun. All right, so here's my tribute to April Fool's Day. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Frank.
Frank who?
Thank you for being my student.
So funny. I get the joke.
Thank you very much. Okay, on to our lesson. So we're going to kind of turn our direction and our attention back to some attributes of shapes. If you look over here, we have defining and non-defining attributes. Non means not defining. And our math message starts like this. I have a shape here and a shape here. Let's talk about that for a minute. So how are these shapes alike? How are they different? Well, you might say they both have three sides. Let's double check. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I agree. They both have three sides. You might say, well, they're about the same size. I think that's probably true. Now, we could get a ruler and measure. I thought I had a ruler handy, but I don't see it here on my workspace. But they are pretty close to the same size. I would agree. That is how they are alike. They both look like triangles. That's what we focused on with our attributes lessons. Although, this one over here is not looking as put together as this one. The triangle on the left is closed all the way around, kind of like a fence is closed if it doesn't have a gate or an opening. Maybe if you have a backyard fence, there's not an opening to go in and out from the fence. Maybe you have to go from your house outside. This triangle on the right, actually, it's a little broken or open. So that is a difference between these two. So the sides here are closed, the sides here are not. So only the closed shape here, this closed triangle, would be an actual triangle. And that is an attribute that makes this shape a triangle. This is not a triangle because it has an open side. When the sides don't come together, we can't call it a triangle. Okay, so I'm going to erase this board, and you might notice that Chris Senior holds the eraser. So I'm going to erase this bit of our lesson. I'll be back in just a minute. So let's take a look at these three triangles over here on the board. Now, what I want you to notice is I have identified the side is each straight line of each of these triangles is called a side. The vertex is where two sides meet, also known as a corner. And we'll talk about that a little more as we move on through the end of the school year. So the side includes the straight lines where these lines connect, where each side meets is called the vertex. So what I want you to notice now is I have a chart up here, defining attributes and non-defining attributes. That's our whole lesson today. And defining attributes mean it's always true of all, in this case, we're doing triangles. Non-defining attributes mean it's some triangles. Like, for instance, I have one triangle that's pink. That's the color. That's a non-defining attribute of that particular triangle. So we're going to list some things here that will tell us defining and non-defining attributes. So the first one is to be a defining attribute for a triangle, because that's what we're talking about. It always has 3 straight sides. So I'm going to write up here sides. We can see that from these 3 triangles here at the top. Also, you'll notice that all the sides are closed. They're not open like our math message. So another defining attribute of a triangle is the sides are closed. Okay, that's fabulous. The last part that I'm going to list here of a defining attribute, always true of all triangles, is the sides do not cross each other. All right, so we have 3 things here under defining attributes. So what is the difference? How can we talk about some non-defining attributes? Well, what do you notice about these triangles? They are all triangles, that's why they're over here as defining attributes. But a non-defining attribute is they're different sizes, okay? So we're gonna write up here, different sizes. We talked about this this morning at the end of our live conference call. I'm noticing they're different colors or different patterns. That's a non-defining attribute. It happens to be the situation here. So we're gonna write different colors. What else do you notice? Different patterns. One of them has polka dots. That's rather cute. I like polka dots. So we can say different patterns is a non-defining attribute of these triangles. And the last thing we can say, well, they kind of point in different directions. They're not all going in the same direction. This one kind of has a slope here, and this one is more symmetrical, you could say, looks even on all sides. So they don't always point in the same direction. So we could say point in different directions. We know over here on the left side of our chart, we have 3 straight sides, the sides are closed, and the sides do not cross each other. Over here, we know these are all still triangles, they just have non-defining attributes. Just because this is pink doesn't guarantee it's a triangle. This one is blue, this has a pattern of polka dots. So non-defining attributes, they can have different things about them. Defining attributes, these are always true. It's always true of these 3 triangles. All right, so your math work today is pretty good. It is basically practicing your fact family triangles. And I happen to have a blank copy that I'm going to scan to your family real soon. So you can have a giant size fact family triangle to practice your addition and subtraction facts. You should have hopefully a baggie at home where you've cut those out of your home links over the last 10 days or so. So good job getting some math things done today. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. We'll talk about it more on Friday. And April Fool's Day, fool your parents. That's my advice. I'm just kidding. Have a good day, guys. See ya.